Well, what I tell you, um, I talked about this a long time ago, and I told y'all I was going to continue to speak on this. Some of the ramifications of when you try to overly, expose yourself. And one thing black people have always had it bad about doing, that we want everybody to know what we doing. The loud talking, you know, the the high siding, letting everybody know what's going on with you. Back in the day, I know y'all done seen this, that loud talking dude who come in the store or come in whatever, just talking hella loud, wanting everybody to know what's going on. And some of the dudes would be high siding, faking the funk, the dude that'll come in with the old school flip phone, talking hella loud. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he better have my money. Yeah, he better have my money or we come to see him. And this is what you started to see the internet version of as we transition from cell phones, well, from beepers to cell phones to social media to streaming. This is a prime example. I've warned people about Adam 12, or should I say Adam 550. I warn people about DJ Vlad. Did I warn people about some of these hip hop, these, these hip hop guys that's supposed to be in hip hop with a criminal past? But y'all didn't listen. And the sad part about this, just like I say this, it hurts me when I'm trying to help black people and they just don't get it. Where black men in particularly, and this is why a lot of times in a lot of cases, black men are not respected because we don't show leadership, and a lot of times we bow down to the man. We don't set examples for the youth. And it's sad now where you got dudes that's in their 50s that supposed to be OGs in the game, just basically dry snitching. And you know who I'm talking about. Dry snitching and flat out snitching. And then they trying to change the narrative. And then you got dudes calling other people snitches and informants when they have been known to work with snitches and informants. But they try to change the narrative. You should never trust a dude who sit up there and record phone calls. You know who I'm talking about. But for some reason, we'd be trying to warn these brothers, hey man, stop going on these shows talking to these culture vultures about criminal enterprises, talking about the streets, because at the end of the day, it could come back to haunt you. And the funny thing is, a lot of times we'll reach out to these guys, we'll reach out to their people, we'll reach out to their representatives and say, hey, can we get an interview with this dude or that dude? Sometimes people would respond, sometimes they wouldn't. Or some of these dudes would say, oh, I need $10,000 and all that kind of stuff for an interview and all that jazz. But then my question would be, okay, you want 10,000 from me, but you going on these other platforms for free. Okay. But then you got people talking about, oh, well, I ain't gonna let these dudes eat off of me. Well, first of all, dude, if it wasn't for me going to see your movies, buying your jerseys, buying your sneakers, watching your TV shows, you wouldn't be in a position that you in now. So if you eating steak and lobster, it's because of people like me. And it don't kill you to give somebody 2 minutes of your time. maybe even less than that. But at the same time, you would tell somebody to go see your movie, go buy your album, go buy your shoes, go buy your jersey, buy a ticket to see you play whatever sports that you participating in. But then at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You accusing somebody of trying to eat off of you or trying to make money off of you. But at the same time, you really made money off of us. We are where we are because we put you before us. That $10 we spent to go see your movie, we could have saved and invested and, you know what I'm saying, put it in the portfolio to boost our revenue. Invested it to put more money in our pockets. But no, we spent it on you. So sometimes I don't be feeling these dudes when they be talking that crap. You know? Because at the same time, you wouldn't be in a position that you in if it wasn't for us. So sometimes you have to give back to the people. What? But nevertheless, that constantly was frequencing Adam 12. Now look what then happened. But then again, he had some insistence. Hampshire, a white boy from New Hampshire. Okay. What the hell do he know about the streets? And then you got Vlad, immigrant tether, who had a criminal enterprise. Mexicans, they got, but the third degree, we sign off as black culture. But at the end of the day, they go on their house. For absolutely nothing. Or if they did get $10,000, let me ask you. I don't feel sorry for some of these dudes. People tried to tell them, hey, man, stop talking to these dudes, man. They don't have your best interest. But you constantly had these dudes constantly talking about shit that they didn't have no business talking about. You kept saying, hey, man, what are you doing? Dude, and then you would see this with those dudes. Oh, yeah, East Oakland. You seen some of Vlad's interviews? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So this. So we walked up in the bank. It was me. It was my homie. So we told everybody. Wait. So you walked up in the bank. So it was two dudes. Oh, did you have a getaway? Yeah, man. So you know what I'm saying? The homie, he was parked and he was like, bro, what are you doing? And I'll be like, bro, what are you doing? So for the people who think that we're jealous of Vlad and Adam 22, what do you now? You still gonna make excuses for these dudes and say that they cool? To some of you celebrities who have been on their outlet, you still want to say that they cool? They're not cool. Trying to get somebody locked up is not being cool. And most of the time when I would talk to these dudes, y'all know when I do interviews, I try to get I tried to get the best out of them. But at the same time, I don't try to put them in a position where they reveal information they ain't got no business revealing. There have been interviews that I did where I had to cut these dudes. Hey. But for some reason, these happy ass niggas, so-called gangsters, would be just so happy, couldn't wait to get on social media, on these streams, and just volunteer damning information. So now you know for a fact that they be watching these videos. I'm just gonna tell you, man, a lot of these dudes were suspect. They were suspect. Oh man, Vlad ain't from the town. Vlad is a foreigner. He's a foreigner and he's a tether. He like from where's he from? He from like Ukraine or something. Well, that's what I'm saying. All those dudes, all those dudes are agents. All those dudes like Agent Jackson, Agent Curtis Jackson, them dudes aren't informants. And they're sent here to keep chaos within the community. Say what you want to say about Rick Ross. Say what you want to say about Rick Ross. At least he had smoke for the white man, though. At least he had smoke. He put hands and feet on Vlad. So say what you want to say about Rick Ross. At least he had smoke for the white man. Because we know a lot of these niggas wouldn't have pulled up on Vlad. Wouldn't have pulled up on Adam 22, which I heard where Adam 22 is got security up to the you know what. So yeah, say whatever you want to say. We know Curtis. We know Agent Curtis wouldn't do it. And by the way, it's been 2 weeks. So it's been 2 weeks. Actually, it's going on 3 now. Where's this paperwork that he said that he had on Big Meech that was going to prove that he was a rat? Make that make sense. The thing is, but you want to work with the person that you claim he was talking to, that he was basically spewing out secondhand information, right? But you want to work with her, right? And also, this is the same dude who also tried to work with the people that basically took down El Chapo. But that's y'all king, that's y'all hero, and y'all idolized that dude. Just got through a couple of days ago making fun of what happened to Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan had to get carted off in a wheelchair. Whatever the case may be, he wasn't feeling well. You should have been saying, get well, brother. But no, you sitting up trying to make fun out of everything. Because at the end of the day, you a 50-year-old bitch ass. And that's all it come down. That's all it come down to. And I'm gonna keep it 100. 50 Cent ain't no real G. He ain't no gangster. He ain't no G. He a victim. 50 is a victim. You a victim, dude. You got shot 9 times, dude. You a victim. And that's what we need to start referring to him as, the victim. He ain't no G. He's a goofy. No, I mean, this is the same dude acting territorial over another man. Oh, it don't matter whether Rick Ross had backup though. He put hands on him though. He did more than Agent Jackson would have did. He stepped to him though. Because we know Agent Jackson ain't gonna put hands on no white man because he worshiped them too much. Just like he always have his head up Marshall's ass. So stop the. But as I was saying before, I was trying to warn these brothers. Nobody say this again. And for black people to insinuate that we jealous of Adam 22 and Vlad for what? What is there to be jealous of? See the difference between me and them? I'm actually black. So I understand my people. See, I actually understand, and see, that's the thing. But black people have this this infatuation and fascination with anybody that don't look like them, that have some kind of interest. At the end of the day, it isn't because they have a interest that they're not. It's basically the wrong type of interest. It's about how much they can profit or exploit you. But black people stay letting themselves get exploited. They complain for real. They say they don't want no black people eating off of them, but then at the same time, they don't have no problem with no white boy or no non-black eating off of them and eating far better than them. So I don't know what this infatuation with these dudes talking to dudes like Adam 22, because I see right through them. See, that's what you call having white worship and not valuing yourself or your people. But then it's your people that help elevate you, get you, off the ground and move you up the ladder. But then as you climb the ladder, you want to forget about who helped you start, climbing up that ladder. And you see this with a lot of people. Then all of a sudden, they want to forget about these people. All of a sudden, they too good for these people. So like I said before, are you happy now? You dudes gonna still continue to talk to these dudes, even if it means your freedom or possibly your life? And in the name of what? What are you getting out of talking to these dudes? What, notoriety? It's amazing how we don't have the camaraderie with each other that the Asians have with each other, the whites have with each other. Everybody but us have some kind of camaraderie, and they see the bigger picture except us. Black people would rather help other people become billionaires than help black people become billionaires, because we have this built-in vitriol towards each other. And it's sad. It's sad. We don't even respect each other. But then you sit up here and hear this stuff about support black businesses. But then when somebody open a black business, you try to get over. You don't want to pay what the dude is asking you to pay. You always want the hookup. It happens all the time. But you hollering about why ain't there no black businesses? Because of us. Because we don't want to put in the work. So for people talking all this stuff about Trump getting rid of DUI and segregated bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, well, here's the thing. We proved years ago that we could function on our own. Let me ask y'all something. Did we really benefit from integration? And be honest, absolutely not. The proof is in the pudding. But then again, we set up here and let everybody else make us feel guilty about supporting each other and being proud of who we are. Once again, why are you worried about what a Mexican or a white person or a non-black think about you in your community? Why should you care? I'm just keeping it 100. Why do you want to build everybody else up but don't want to build your own up? And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of these dudes, that's part of the problem. We need to push them right out the way. Because sometimes we can't prosper because of other people that look like us. Not other people, but the other people that look like us, that have melanin just like us. I can make an argument that sometimes we a bigger enemy to each other than the white man. And we'll sit up here and cater to everybody else except each other. And that's why, even though people value the black dollar, they value the black dollar when it's getting spent elsewhere. So I'm just saying, a lot of this is because of us. Oh, appreciate the super chat. No, I'm just here to listen. There ain't nothing I haven't seen. I've been on this planet for 50 years. I done seen it all. I know how it works. This might be the best time to really depend on each other. Self-reliance and independence. Separate but equal. And my thing is, if y'all doing all this stuff, okay, cool. So don't complain when we start functioning on our own. Don't come bothering us. Don't complain about it. We don't want to hear nothing about it. We don't want to hear nothing about black on this, black on that. We don't want to hear that stuff. And the thing is, why should we have to explain ourselves to everybody? The Asians don't have to explain their moves to nobody. The Hispanics don't have to explain. The white-looking Hispanics who want to be passed off as white, they don't try to explain themselves to nobody. But we the only ones that feel like we have to give everybody an explanation. And when we stop doing that, the better off we gonna be. And when we stop having these shields and these basically these ops, when we stop doing that, the better off we gonna be. Oh, shout out to the homie 7-8. Shout out to the homie. 7-8, man. We gonna have to do like a segment about this, bro. We gonna really have to get down to the thick of things. But like for reals, like 7-8 understand where I'm coming from. Because at the end of the day, we did prove once again. Me and 7-8 been one of the dudes that been preaching. Hey, we be talking to these dudes behind the scenes. Hey man, why don't you come on my outlet? Come on my outlet. Oh man, I got a CEO. Who you with? Who you affiliated with? Oh man, I need 20 stacks. I need 20 stacks. And then they go on these white outlets for free. I'll give you an example. I reached out to the dude who Kyrie Irving was considering doing a shoe deal with. I think he was based in the Bay Area. Hit him several times, requested an interview because he was based in the Bay Area, but he was like from the East Coast. Didn't respond to me. But then lo and behold, I see him doing an interview with a white man. So sometimes, like I said, or should I say a lot of times, the problem is us. And I'll give you another example. I had to call somebody real talk. I had to call a friend of mine. I ain't gonna say the man's name, but I had to tell him, and I had to warn a couple of people, hey man, stop talking to Vlad. Don't go on that dude's outlet. Stop talking to Adam 12. Stop talking to these other dudes and stop letting these culture vultures come in. Stop talking to these dudes. It's easy to shut these dudes down. And then now all of a sudden that people getting indicted, of course, they doing the white man thing. Oh, I don't know how this happened. How did this happen? I don't know. You know how it happened because they were coming on your outlets and you were basically letting them incriminate themselves without cutting them off. You know why? Because you knew that was going to happen. You know why? Because you in on it. Because you work with them. You in on it. So now all this stuff that jumped off. And then, like I said, a lot of these dudes, they just ain't smart. I'm going to say this again. You can't be a gangster or a street nigga and a celebrity at the same time. It does nothing for you, and it just doesn't work. It's not feasible. Real gangsters, real criminals, whatever you want to call it, real G's, real street dudes, they hide behind the scenes. But I understand this internet thing is like crack. It's addictive because you the type of person, you could just sit up here and you could just say something that you know ain't true. But if you make it sound good enough, people will believe you and they will follow you. That's why it's called being an influencer. How you think people, you know what I'm saying? How you think people like that cornball, that cornball from Dallas, that rat, that coward, and you know who I'm talking about, blew up because he made it sound convincing. I'm going to say this again. George Costanza, Jason Alexander from Steinfeld, he said it himself. Like I told you, that was one of the greatest quotes I ever heard on television, and it's absolutely true. It's not a lie if you really believe it. So basically, even though you can push the record button and you know that you lying through your teeth, if it sounds good and it sounds convincing, you can influence other people. It's this internet stuff. These dudes are actors. A lot of these dudes on here are actors. Like that other cornball ass nigga that say he used to be a cop. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, you guys. Dudes like Jason Fatlock, Officer Coonum, the black conservative coon, those type of niggas. I know they don't truly believe what they say, but at the same time, they know they could build a following if they make it sound convincing. And then they know who they're catering to. They're catering to racists and other Sambos. Why you think they be doing that stuff? And then that's the same thing that Vlad be doing. That's the same thing that Adam 12 be doing. They make it sound like they're fascinated, but at the same time, when you recording and you saying this stuff, talking about what you used to do in the streets and how you got caught with an AK-47 and you a convicted felon and you know you ain't, okay. Wouldn't you say, hey man, stop. But he let him keep talking. So then now it's been proven that the feds is listening. Okay. They jarting all this stuff down. They've been building this case on Big U for like 4 years. I'm gonna tell you something else that really gonna be the icing on the cake. You know what else they want to try to link, you know what else they want to try to link Big U to. You know what they want to do. You know what they want to try to link Big U to. You already know what it is. I don't have to say the person's name, and I don't have to say the case. You know what they really trying to do, what they fishing for. When you roll up like 20 people, I told you, it's like being in a room. I'm serious. It's like dominoes. They're going to put them all in the room. All this is about who going to crack first, who going to give them the most information to basically build their case against. Somebody is going to tell. You know who I'm talking about. We don't have to say his name. That's what they really fishing for. They praying that somebody. They praying that they can link they praying that they can get somebody that can give them information to link Big U to that. That's what they fishing for. But they had enough to bring him in on the other stuff. The so-called fronts. The loans and all that stuff. The strong arming. And that's what I was talking about. I'm going to say this once again. The so-called, people, listen, please don't use that black stuff and say you trying to help black people, but at the same time, you sitting up here telling somebody they got to check in and all that kind of stuff. My thing is, and I'm going to say this, and I got to keep it 100. Did homeboy move on those Samoans that whooped his ass like 10 years ago? That's all I got to say. And this ain't an attack on him, but I'm just keeping it 100. Do you ask anybody that ain't black to check in? Or you just do that with black people? I laugh. Like I said, I ain't never checked in a day in my life. No city that I went to. I ain't never checked in Dallas. I ain't never checked in Philly. I ain't never checked in New York. I ain't never checked in Miami. I ain't never checked in. I ain't checking in nowhere. Because I don't got to. So let's not try to play Robin Hood, man. Let's not try to play them games, because this stuff is documented. I'm going to say this again. This is a Fed case. And the Feds got a 98% conviction rating. I'm going to say this again. 98% conviction rating. So that means Out of every 100 cases, only 2 gonna beat the case. And the funny thing, it appears that out of those 100 Fed cases, it appears that Michael Jackson was one of them. They investigated Michael Jackson for over 10 years, from before he passed away until, recently after he passed away, until it was years after he passed away. To this day, they can't find that. Now, the thing is, they still haven't officially closed the case, but they wasn't able to convict Michael Jackson. So now when it comes down to, it's just running a smear campaign. So I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. But like I said, a lot of these dudes, I would be just shaking my head when I'd be seeing them going on Adam 12 and Vlad volunteering all this information. And sometimes I would be arguing with people about that dude. Like, no, man, Vlad, well, if he'll ask you them questions, but you just shouldn't answer. Well, my thing is, how about he not ask you them type of questions? How about he not ask you them type of questions about the streets? Because at the end of the day, he ain't, is it a infatuation? Or is it fact tallying? Basically tallying up facts and information. I'm going to do a video later on. Before I shut it down for the night. The investigators, the agents themselves said they built the case. Guess how? They said watching the internet. So all those, man, let me tell you something. Don't be now. What y'all gonna do for the people that still believe in Adam 12? Now, what y'all gonna do if they call him to take the stand? What y'all gonna do if this is a publicized, televised trial, and they start playing audio or footage from his interviews? Then what y'all gonna do? Y'all still gonna take up for him? But then again, probably some of y'all will, because some of y'all still defending Ryan Garcia. So what y'all gonna do then? What's your excuse gonna be then? So what y'all is he? The Fed said it out of their own mouth. The Fed said it out of their own mouth that they built the case listening to interviews on social media. So there you have it. I'm gonna say this once again to any celebrity that's listening to this video. You more than welcome to come on my outlet. And everybody knows the celebrities that didn't been on my outlet, I already go through before. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. I don't blindside nobody. I don't believe in that shit. That's not a good look. Every time I do an interview, I tell the people, here's the questions I'm gonna ask you. I give them a list of questions. If I'm doing a live interview with them, if we at a location, I say, here's the list of questions I'm gonna ask you. Cross out the questions that you don't want me to ask you, and the questions that I can't ask you, just leave it alone. And they'll say, okay, well, you could ask me all these questions. Or they'll say, hey, man, don't ask me about that. Hey, cool. Because I don't like to trip nobody up. I don't believe in blindsiding nobody. I don't believe in doing that because that's weak. That's sucker shit. You show me one interview that I did where I blindsided somebody. If I have a sit-down interview where I meet the person, I give them a list of questions. Even if it's a interview that I do via social media, Before we go live, I'll say, okay, is there anything you don't want me to ask you? They'll say, no, ask me this, ask me that. And I'm not going to say, it's one dude. He said, hey, man, don't ask me about this. Don't ask me about that. Cool. And guess what? Keeps coming on a platform. So I don't believe in trying to trap these brothers up. But at the end of the day, they okay with people. Ben should have been calling Adam 22 out. Or should I say Adam 12? People should have been calling Vlad out. And that's why I don't respect that nigga DL Hughley. He got smoke for everybody else. Got all this smoke for Shannon Sharp and other people, but he ain't saying nothing about constantly going on DJ Vlad's outlet, talking about other black people to a white man, to a culture vulture, to a foreigner. So, you know, there you have it. But this needed to be said. So, once again, if you think I'm lying about police basically building the case off social media interviews, I'll let you see yourself. But these dudes were stupid. Listen, I understand if you want to be a street reporter, you want to do stuff that's tied to the streets and all that kind of stuff, but you shouldn't be saying some of the stuff that you was hearing people say, talking about possible, you know what I'm saying, possible 187s murking people. Like I said before, look at Keefe D. Look where his ass is. Constantly insinuating that he has something to do with what happened to Pac. Going on social media, bragging as if he has now all of a sudden he's sitting up in court crying, talking about he got cancer and all that kind of stuff. So he says. Now look at him. Now he boo-hooing. But you was sitting up talking to Vlad, not like, man, come on, dude. Y'all did this to yourself. So here's the thing. So now, you know what I'm saying? Now you got other people doing this stuff. Now you got people that are supposed to be OG, and these dudes were supposed to be OGs, man. The code of the streets was take it to the grave. Keep your mouth shut. There was an old terminology called killers don't talk. We get older. Which means that, if you a hitter, you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing. It go with you to your grave. You don't talk to nobody about nothing, but now you got these dudes openly volunteering information. Self-incrimination is, I get that credit. You got a lot of people who were just at one time just regular people, just cling on to them and gravitate to them to where they would be mesmerized. And like I said, these people are better talkers than me. And I have to give them credit for that. Y'all don't think this internet stuff, these streams is like a TV show? You don't think this stuff is scripted or thought of? You think some of this stuff is factual? You think these people, a lot of these people really believe the stuff that come out their mouth? Come on now. But it's about, you know what I'm saying? It's about catering to a certain audience, your target audience. I know who my videos are for. I make my videos for a certain audience. Same thing with these other people. But I'm just telling you, internet is dangerous. Like I said, a lot of fascinating people. I done made good friends. Then again, there were people that I thought were my friends. But I'm saying it's man, it's pros and everything. And the part is, if you talk too much and you talk about stuff you ain't got no business talking about, well, this is what can happen to you. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I need to give you guys some information. See, I see I'm buffering. I see I'm kicking too much game. Don't be fooled by some of these people that you may hear that got arrested alongside with Big U, because sometimes that's a ploy. That's a tactic to throw you off. They'll say, oh, he got arrested, but what they're really trying to do is not to blow his cover. Y'all do know they do that too. Because I can tell you now, who I believe is also working with the feds. Who I believe, and I've said from the gate that I thought the dude was working with the feds, because for what I was told, excuse me, for what I was told, he was, basically revealing that what was going on with Big U was gonna happen like a couple of years ago. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, y'all. But anyway, appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy Tim. I'm out.